Welcome back to another week of Trick Tips with Coach. This week, we're talking about the drop-in. That's right, we're gonna work you through basics to advanced dropping in so that you can ride any ramp at the skate park. That's right, buddy, buckle up, we're about to ride. Before we climb ourselves up on the big ramps, we gotta make sure you got a few key fundamentals under your belt. We did a video a little while back about skate basics, and one of the things we teach is called squash the bug. Squashing the bug is a fundamental skill for dropping in. So if you need to, dig up that video and watch it and make sure that you understand and can control your front leg extends to go down, bends to go up. This is the primary motion that we're gonna be using to work on that drop-in. So, before you do a drop-in on a ramp, make sure you can do at least 3 bug squashes or 5 in a row to make sure that you've got that trick locked. Drop-ins, while fun, are often intimidating and difficult for beginners because you have to commit 110% to this trick, otherwise you're gonna slide out like you just hit a wet banana peel. So, before we start on any of our quarter pipes, we've developed a system here at Alchemy using our bank ramps to build up the confidence and start working on that squash the bug skill. What we recommend is finding a nice mellow bank at your local skate park, and we're gonna practice dropping in on the bank before we go to a quarter pipe. One of the most important things about dropping in on a bank is we do it a little bit differently than our quarter pipe. When we're on a ramp with coping, we often set our back wheels in front of the lip of the ramp. However, starting out on the bank, what we recommend is having our back wheels behind the lip of the ramp and our front wheels in front. What this does is it breaks our drop-in down to 2 distinct motions. We have our squash, and then we have our lean and roll forward. So what I recommend before going to a quarter pipe is, again, split that difference. Have the lip of the ramp centered right between your wheels and know that it's gonna be 2 motions. Focus primarily first on your stomp. Know that you're gonna have a second before you need to lean in. Common problems when we're learning to squash the bug down the bank involve one of 2 things: overcommitment or undercommitment. Overcommitting is when we stomp down and we're leaning in all at once, and what happens is, with too much downward pressure, we actually see our back wheels slide back and we fall down the ramp. Undercommitment, on the other hand, is where we fail to get a good squash and we end up manualing dangerously close to the edge. So again, make sure you're comfortable on flat ground with that squash the bug so that when you come to the bank, you can find that perfect sweet spot of commitment where you're stomping and then leaning down the ramp. Once you've mastered your bug squashes down the bank, it's time to move to a quarter pipe. And as always, we recommend starting on smaller features to build that confidence and minimize your chances of injuries as you work towards those bigger ramps. As we mentioned earlier with the bank, when we're working on a ramp that has coping, we want to set our skateboards on the tail with our back wheels in front of the coping. This is called a disaster drop-in, and we'll get to that later. For now though, we're going to start with the tail on the deck of the ramp, our back foot securely on the tail, our rear wheels are in front of the coping, and unlike the bank, which is 2 motions, dropping in on a quarter pipe is 1 fluid motion. We're gonna squash the bug and lean in all at once. Common problems with dropping in on quarter pipes. The number 1, undercommitment. It's completely natural to be terrified while learning new things. However, leaning into that fear is your best bet. We'd always prefer we fall forward where we can get our hands out in front of us than slipping out backwards. So, as you're standing up on the ramp, make sure you allow your weight to shift forward over your front knee, stomp the knee, and you're gonna ride all the way down the ramp. Again, if you have to shoot for an air, shoot for falling forward. It's a lot easier to roll out of, a heck of a lot less scarier, and it gets you closer to rolling away from that drop in. The wonderful thing about dropping in on ramps is once you've unlocked that skill on one ramp, you've unlocked that skill on all of the ramps. Of course, the taller the ramps are, the scarier they get. However, the fundamental skills remain exactly the same. You want to transfer your weight forward over your front foot, extending your leg to squash the bug, and then rolling down the ramp. So, again, get comfortable on small features and then work your way up to bigger and bigger quarter pipes. Once you can drop in, the world is yours to skate. When you find yourself up on that quarter pipe you're gonna drop in on, you might realize it looks taller from above than it did on the ground. That's okay, but we wanna not let ourselves be controlled by the fear. Make sure all your weight is on your back foot, which keeps your skateboard nice and secure. You're gonna place your front foot right over those bolts, again, keeping all your weight back until you're ready to drop in. at which point you're gonna shift your weight forward over our front knee and we're gonna stomp. Something to remember when we're dropping in is that technically we're falling down a ramp. So as you're working on this trick, if it feels like you're falling, you might actually be on the right track. With drop-ins, less is more. We want to stay relaxed, transfer our weight forward over our front foot, and stomp that foot.